Okay, we're back at the rescue house on Remodel Revolution Radio. You can see where I wanted to be today when I got up. I wanted to be fishing. So yesterday, when we started our broadcast, we were putting in starting the new concrete floor, putting it in, and that got finished. And also, of course, we're continuing the sheetrock repair and straightening up the corners and all that good stuff. Today, and we'll go to that in a minute. Today, we are in here demoing the media room. The media room has been a big problem. We knew all along that there were problems with the ceiling, but we didn't really know why. And so we came and pulled some sheetrock off, and we found out why. So I'm going to flip this around and kind of show you where we're at today on it. Let's see, I'm trying to flip it around and it's not letting. Oh, there it is. Okay, there we are. Okay, so we knew all along that there was a problem in here because this wall is way out of plumb. I'm going to get a level real quick and show you how bad it is. Can I borrow your level for a minute, Miguel?
Sure.
Thank you. We knew when we came in that there was a big problem because this wall is leaning so bad. We just didn't know why it was leaning. We kept asking that question. Here's our level. And in 4 feet, this is how bad out this wall is. Right there, it's over an inch. That's in 4 feet. So we knew there was a big problem here. Let's see. That's from the floor up. That's 1.5 inches, maybe. So we knew that this wall was leaning out 3 inches right here. And if you go outside, you can see it clearly. You can also see it in here if you know how to look at it, but it's definitely got a lean to it, and there's a big swag right over that window. I don't know if you can see it, but you should be able to. And then we notice that this fur down that's in the ceiling that's creating the light box is listening. It's sinking in the middle, sinking that 3 inches. So we knew there was a problem. We came in here, we pulled some sheetrock off on this side, and we found that the ceiling joists that are right up here are 3 inches away from where they should be tied into. And so that told us everything we needed to know. So the ceiling joist is pulled away here, and that wall is leaning out the same distance. And then when we looked up at the roof, we could see a big sag in the roof where everything had pulled it down. So what we know happened was that this side got disconnected. That somebody cut this, and no one ever reattached it when they did the last remodel. I think this is the result of about 3 projects on this house. I think that the original ceiling is original. It was a what we call a pan ceiling, angled braces. So from the wall up, originally it came up to an angle and then flattened out. And then someone came in and decided to make it a flat pan where it doesn't come up at an angle. These lookouts right here come out, are supposed to be level, and then this comes up and it creates a light pocket. You can see there's a recess up there, and then it goes to a flat ceiling. It does say on the other side. So I think what we're seeing right now is the result of the second attempt on this ceiling. So the first attempt was the original. The second attempt was someone changing it. And what they did is when they changed it and they put these 2x4s in here, these new 2x4s that are sistering the originals, there was already a sag in this ceiling. It was never done right originally. I think this 2x8 that's up here is original. And this is my guess. And that it was sagging because it probably wasn't done right to begin with. I think originally it was done wrong. And so instead of fixing it on the last time when they wanted to flatten this out, you can see the difference in the distance. The original, the bottom of the original, bottom of the new, and you can see that it tapers. And that's where they were trying to compensate for how much this had dropped. They should have tried to figure out what was wrong with it. They had all the sheetrock off of it. They should have at that time gone up here and resolved this problem, but they didn't do that. And over time, it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. So what's happened is gravity has taken its toll, and gravity has pulled these away, dropped that roof line, and pushed this window wall out. So when you look at it from the outside, it's got a big bow in it. You can see it clearly from the outside. What we're going to do, we're deconstructing this entire ceiling. We're taking the entire thing down and we're rebuilding it. We're going to put in a beam system that'll support everything above it and everything below it. Now, some of the things that I found in here that are pretty disturbing is some wiring that was done by somebody, and these wire nuts, you can see the wire nuts and the Romex. That's how we found that up in the ceiling. Nobody ever took the time to even wrap it with electric tape. I don't know who thought that was a good idea. I don't like the idea that they ran Romex up against the decking of the roof, because they're just lucky a nail didn't poke into it when they put the roof on. I think that was probably not a really good idea. And then down here, you can see more wires, just wire nuts that were laying up in it. So that's no good. And then you can see just things like these big messes of globules of old wire and stuff. Really, when you do these projects, if you're doing them in your own house or you're doing them for a customer, you need to cut those things out. That stuff needs to be cut out, cleared out, and not left up there just laying around. It's just not a good idea for lots of reasons. So we'll clean all that up. These lookouts right up here and here and here, they were all loose. None of them were nailed. None of these were nailed. So the whole thing structurally was compromised. Some of it's from old, some of it's from new. Some of it could be that in the last remodel, when they put that little pony wall up there, nobody bothered to ask the question whether or not those things should be attached. I don't know. It's hard to lay blame on it, but my instinct as a contractor would have been to do something about that. I'm also a little bit leery about all of this bracing that's coming from the roof down to the top of this wall with this pocket door. I'm leery about the lack of additional support for that, all that bracing and weight that's been put on top of this pocket door. I think they should have added a beam up there to carry it. And I think we're probably going to go ahead and do that, because I think that I'm seeing a sag above there, but it could be an illusion. But as saggy as this house is, it probably isn't. Okay, so that's what we found. We pulled all the sheetrock off. and we will, I'll come back and shoot another video before we start reframing it, and we'll go over the plan that we have. So when you do these projects on your own house, if you decide to take it on yourself, there's no really great shortcuts, and there's no cheap way to do them. If you don't do them right, ultimately you pay the price for it, as seems to be the case on this house. If it had been done right the first time, we wouldn't be dealing with this today. And I don't, it's hard to tell if it's just from somebody that didn't know what they were doing, or somebody that didn't care about what they were doing, or a combination of both. Could have been. But at any rate, ultimately this is what you end up having to deal with, and that's redoing the redo. So here we are at the rescue house. Thanks for watching. Send me a message, subscribe to my YouTube channel, send me any questions or comments.